Well, hi people, welcome to GreenFire Television, PATV Channel 18, Iowa City. Today we're going to talk about what's kindling your fire right now. There's enough stuff coming out of Washington, D.C. to flood the tidal flats out here in the West Coast, so we're gonna just not pay attention to that. We're going to pay attention to what kindles what kindles a fire in your fire right now. What gives you good spirit, and that will be the golden eternity of this hour as we gather around this electronic campfire and go into the GreenFire itself. And GreenFire has a heart of desire and the heart of ire. So this tin whistle is made in Dublin. And may it invoke lots of little wee folk, fairy folk, elves, and leprechauns, and may they dance around for a good long time. And may we wish everyone here an Irish blessing. And the Irish blessing goes in such a way. May God grant you always a sunbeam to warm you, a moonbeam to charm you, a sheltering angel so nothing can harm you, laughter to cheer you, faithful friends near you, and wherever you pray, heaven to hear you, an Irish blessing. So that goes in our head, so this time it goes in our heart. May God grant you always a sunbeam to warm you, a moonbeam to charm you, a sheltering angel so nothing can harm you, laughter to cheer you, laughter to cheer you, faithful friends near you. And whenever you pray, heaven to hear you. An Irish blessing for this good day in GreenFire land. As I stepped into the studio to begin GreenFire, we were deluged with a downpour around about 4:45 or something on Wednesday afternoon, and that gives us a lot of, we need a little rain, and it'll be cooling off, and it'll give us, the plants need water right now, so we're grateful for the rain in mid to late July. This is still, we still haven't reached the Midsummer Night's Dream yet. Midsummer Night's Dream will be a couple weeks off, but we've been celebrating the summer of love all summer here. And as things go, it's a real practice to take care of one another and take care of our hearts and our heart's desires. Because we're living, as I say, in a time when the thieves, the den of thieves in Washington, the dark nights who would steal the soul out of the American psyche and just suffocate it and have people walking around in despair and gloom and feeling of disempowerment and close to insanity. That's the mark of a fascist all the way around. So we may not be living in fascist times, but be aware. And in order to be aware, I invite you to read New York Times op-ed opinion piece, editorial by Wallace, Henry Wallace, back in 1934. So if you go to New York Times, Henry Wallace op-ed 1934, his essay on fascism, I think his could be very enlightening and could be very a good tutelage for what we're looking at in the American political body, politic. So there's a lot of ticks in the body politic, and they're sucking out the best part of America. And they're doing it inside the Beltway, and it begins with the Oval Office, the Ovoid Office, and right on through. And so, hey, outside the Beltway, that's where we're going to live today. And we're not going to let polis of politics, the ticks of politics, let them be in the asylum. The lunatic is on the wall. The lunatic is in the hall. The halls of Congress is the lunatic in the body politic. That's another day. In that sense, we can exorcise the demons. So first, we're going to exorcise the demons. Then we're going to go to a higher octave. It's all going to be about love, dear friends. We're going to go a higher octave of love. First, we're going to exorcise the demons. This is a piece from my book, Gaia Poems, E4G Gaia Poems, John Shoemaker. This is my book. If any of you want to get a copy of this, contact the studio here and we'll go to work on it. This is called Gaia Poems from my book. It's copyrighted and in the the Library of Congress. And this was written some time ago, but I feel it has certain applications. When you return to something, it always has a new revelation. And this is called Gaia Saw. Gaia is Mother Earth. Erase all memories of brutality, pain, suffering during the cruel zone. This is new time. Erase all the memories of brutality, pain, suffering during cruel zone. This is new time. Touch the whole body. The spirit soars, intact, whooshing. A cosmic kiss on the cheek. Feathers on the breath of God. Puffs of white Milky Way seedlings float on grandmother clouds. Their faces smiling, much like the clouds out here today, the high cumulus giving us this drenching rain of joy and abundance and tilth. Their faces smiling, pregnant with their thoughts of lovemaking with grandfather clouds, birthing and loving gentle April rains, liquid sunshine for solar rainbow seeding. Galactic sunspot activity through the solar wind is blowing in a new dharma to sleepy humanity. And 1 month from today, or a little before, will be a total solar eclipse. With that in mind, the galactic sunspot activity through the solar wind is blowing in a new dharma to sleepy humanity. Tibetan crystal bells chime at Arco Sancti. Equilibrium is the quasar. Our Mayan, Atlantean resonant frequencies and roots are starting to grow. Clusters of fruit peek through the boughs, the golden boughs of the ancient oak. We have blended beautifully in this crystal earth. Surrender rites are occurring. We are beginning the solar return to dream time. Listen, dear friend. We are beginning the solar return to dream time. The great collapse is occurring as I speak. In this campaign for the earth, we, the divers, form an opening of great awakening. Our morphogenetic resonance fields accessing to ancient memory of great work. Of great work. We, the planetary cleanup crew, are beginning our pilgrimage. We are seeing our desert trek to the nuclear test site as tools for this transformation, doing the limbo in the Mojave Amargosa range, mercury and plutonium hard casing in night watch on Yucca Mountain. At ground zero, we sing the Heart Warrior song, "We will not be moved. We will not be moved. We will not be moved." We look at nuclear mammon, Moloch, hard, unswerving, unflinching is our resolve. Eros of love, unfailingly straight. We shoot seraphic peace, arrow fire, our carbon ring of Zuvuya wave, into his one eye, into the bowels of the beastly dark depths in the bloated bile, in the bottom cavern of the belly of his pupil. All the nightmares that ever lived are hanging there on those walls. Millions of pairs of eyes stare out there in frozen horror of death scream in the basement of the White House during the Reagan reign of terror. We smile with beginner's mind. In this journey of awakening, we are gathered to turn stones of the gourd of ashes into light, a rainbow bridge over Nehue Segovia, the fierce solar light of crystal courage, dear friend, crystal courage, shining through Ruby Valley of Western Shoshone Nation, singing Hoka Hey, it's a good day to die. Our treaty is alive, Shondahai. We reclaim our land as our Turtle Island truth, with our Turtle Island mind, from our decolonized mind, with our new Turtle Island mind. We reclaim our land as our Turtle Island truth, Satyagraha. In beginner's mind, we move silently through our night chant, in backcountry actions, swiftly to our targets. Our vision feet guide us unerringly. We become invisible with body ash rubbed in deep in the medicine way. At first step of our night trekking, we weave a web of light through the night. With every step we take, Anasazi changing woman comes, shifts our shapes. Shifts our shapes. We conform to her earth song of arroyos, mesas, flats, buttes, spirit song. Spiraling through the night chant, we are the hoop of the bird tribe, spinning the rainbow dreamer wheels in this unholiest earth place, this black hole. We square the circle. We, the silver thread, carriers of the flame, carriers of the dream wheel, weave the light through backcountry steps to dawning daybreak morning star, carrying new song in our sacred bundle. As dreamers of the dawn, Wampanoag, children of the first light, we become daykeepers, bringing white buffalo song to awakening Eorth. Aho. Gaia Saw is earth truth. That's simply called earth truth. Gaia Saw. And so this is dedicated to the two women of the Des Moines Catholic Worker who did their earth truth in defense of Mother Earth, all up and down that obscene black snake of that DAPL, Dakota Access Pipeline, through Iowa, through the sacred land of Iowa. And this is dedicated to these two women who stood up and were strong. And Ruby Montoya and Resnick, I think her name is. And both the women are from the Des Moines Catholic Worker, and we all need to support them. So I think if you go to Catholic Worker, Des Moines Catholic Worker, you'll find a statement by them where they say in much deeper detail what they did and how they did it and why they did it. And they want you to join them, so please do join them. You can also go to littlecreek.com, and you can go to boldiowa.org or boldiowa.com. littlecreek.com, boldiowa.com, Des Moines Catholic Worker. Go to all three of those sites and see what's going on. because this fight isn't over, it's just begun. So let's dedicate it to those two brave women, righteous souls, standing up for Mother Earth. No compromise in defense of Mother Earth. That's the green fire with the green fist. Gaia saw, erase all the memories of cruelty, pain, brutality, and suffering during cruel zone. This is new time. Touch the whole body. The spirit soars intact, whooshing. A cosmic kiss on the cheek, feathers on the breath of God. Puffs of white Milky Way seedlings float on grandmother clouds, their faces smiling, pregnant with their thoughts of lovemaking with grandfather clouds. Birthing and loving gentle April rains, liquid sunshine for solar rainbow seeding. Galactic sunspot activity through the solar wind is blowing in a new dharma to sleepy humanity. A new dharma, a new dispensation, dear friend, a new era, a new aion. Blowing in a new dharma to sleepy humanity. Tibetan crystal bells chime at Arco Sancti. Equilibrium is the quasar. Equilibrium is the quasar. Our Mayan Atlantean resonant frequencies and roots are beginning and starting to grow. Our Mayan Atlantean resonance frequencies and roots are starting to grow. Clusters of fruit peek through the boughs. We have blended beautifully in this crystal earth, in this crystalline latticed earth. Surrender rites are occurring. We are beginning the solar return to dream time. With this solar eclipse coming up August 21st, even now, we are beginning the solar return to dream time. The great collapse is occurring in this campaign for the earth. We divers form the opening of the great awakening. We divers form the opening of the great awakening. Our morphogenetic resonance fields are accessing the ancient memory of great work, unclean real from the ancient tree of the golden bough. We, the planetary cleanup crew, are beginning our pilgrimage. We are seeing our desert trek to the nuclear test site as tools for this transformation. Doing the limbo in the Mojave, Amargosa range, mercury and plutonium hard casing, in the night watch on Yucca Mountain at ground zero, we sing Heart Warrior song, we will not be moved. We look at nuclear mammon, Moloch, hard, unswerving, unflinching is our resolve. Amore rabia, love and rage, eros of love, unfailingly straight. We shoot seraphic peace, arrow fire, our carbon ring of Zavuya wave, into his one eye of Moloch, into the bowels of the beastly dark depths in the bloated bile, in the bottom cavern of the belly of his pupil. All the nightmares that ever lived are hanging there on those walls, in the basement of the Ali North White House, in the Iran-Contra death squads in El Salvador, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Honduras. And all the nightmares that ever lived are hanging there on those walls. Millions of pairs of eyes stare out there in frozen horror of death scream. We smile with beginner's mind in this journey of awakening. We are gathered to turn stones of the gourd of ashes into light, a rainbow bridge over Neve Segovia, the fierce solar light of crystal courage, shining through Ruby Valley of Western Shoshone Nation, singing Hoka Hey, it's a good day to die. Our treaty is alive. The Treaty of Ruby Valley of 1864. Shundahai. We reclaim our land as our Turtle Island truth out of our decolonized mind. And we have now our Turtle Island mind with our Turtle Island truth, singing Satyagraha, the soul force of the entire cosmos. In beginner's mind, we move silently through our night chant. In backcountry actions, swiftly to our targets. Our vision feet guide us unerringly. We become invisible, with body ash rubbed in deep in the medicine way. At first step of our night trekking. At first step of our night trekking, we weave a web of light through the night with every step we take. Anasazi changing woman comes, shifts our shapes. We conform to her earth song of arroyos, of mesas, of flats, of buttes, spirit song. Spiraling through the night chant, we are the hoop of the bird tribe, spinning the rainbow dreamer wheels in this unholiest earth place. This black hole, we square the circle. We, the silver thread, keepers of the flame, carriers of the dream wheel, weave the light through backcountry steps to dawning daybreak, morning star, carrying new song in our sacred bundle. As dreamers of the dawn, Wampanoag, children of the first light, we become daykeepers, bringing White Buffalo's song to awakening earth. Aho! Gaia Sa is earth truth. Gaia Sa is earth truth, which is, Gaia is the Greek goddess for Mother Earth, and has been adopted as the name for Mother Earth, Gaia. That's the name of this book is. Gaia. Gaia Poems, E4G, Enlightenment for Gaia. John Shoemaker's my name. And so what we do here is in reference and remembrance. There's a couple of Native American women that I would like to have come on to GreenFire, and if you're watching this at Little Creek or in Coralville or out at Meskwaki, we'd like to have you come on and talk about decolonization and having a Turtle Island mind and what's going on at Little Creek and at Standing Rock and elsewhere in Indian country, but mostly decolonizing our minds. Now, that's a really important thing after 500 years of the Columbus genocide and conquest of Cortez. It's time to decolonize our minds and put on a new mind, a Turtle Island mind. And that would be a Turtle Island mind of the loving kind. This would be a Turtle Island mind with close encounters of the loving kind. And we shake a little bit for that. It's a shaker of truth, singing the way, hoka hey. Also, a woman who had her land pretty much close to public domain taken from her, farmer and a teacher down in southeast Iowa. She's now living in Des Moines. We'd like to invite her to tell her story and talk about the walk that she did, I think, with the Little Creek, from Little Creek to Des Moines. And also, I think these two women who just recently stood up and said what they did and made a declaration of status rerum report, a planet weather report of status rerum about the heartache in the heartland of this black snake coming through Iowa, this pipeline. There's a huge heartache in the heartland, and they stood up and did something about it, and said no compromise in defense of Mother Earth, and did some direct action. And so, again, go to Bold, Iowa, littlecreek.com. There's another one that is the Des Moines Catholic Worker. So any of those and others. Also go to Sierra Club, Iowa Sierra Club, and see what's going on. And so we've exorcised our demons here, and we're going to have a magical child reading from what's called Before the Beginning. This is a child's first book of the great story. So instead of the story of Genesis, we have a story somewhat like that, but it's from Seven Candles, A Science for a Deeper Spirituality. And each one of us is part of the story unfolding as we speak. The green fire of desire is the green fire of the universe is a green dragon, remember? Remember the universe is a green dragon? Well, before the beginning, this is the story of the great story. A long time ago, before you were born, before I was born, before the beginning of the first day, everything lived and dreamed as one thing. That's a long time ago, before we were all born, and before the beginning of the first day. Everything lived and dreamed as one thing. Everything lived and dreamed as one thing. Just this first long time ago. Our family, our house, the wind, the ocean, the mountains, all the stars, everything, were all together in one place. And the place was so small that all those things were just one thing. Our family, our house, the wind, the ocean, the mountains, all the stars, everything, were all together in one place. And the place was so small that all those things were just one thing. And it was very, very, very small. Smaller than the tiniest sparkle of a snowflake. And all was as quiet as a soft winter's night. Smaller than the tiniest sparkle of a snowflake. And all was as quiet as a soft winter's night. Oh, out there, and the reindeer are walking softly on the snow just before Santa shows up on the roof. Do you want to know about the time before the beginning? Well, that time is a great mystery. No one can tell about that time, but you can play there in your imagination. The time before the beginning? Well, that time is a great mystery. No one can tell about that time, but you can play there in your imagination. Yeah, we can play there in our imagination, in the great mystery, in the time before time. At the very beginning of the first day, we blossomed into a huge flower, like fireworks on the 4th of July. Only much more beautiful, and much, much bigger. At the very beginning of the first day, we blossomed into a huge flower, like fireworks on the 4th of July. Only much more beautiful, and much, much bigger. Much, much bigger. As the flower grew and faded, fresh new stars were born, swirling in a soft, glowing mist, like a spiral nebula. As the flower grew and faded, fresh stars were born. Fresh stars were born in the star nursery, swirling in a soft, glowing mist, like dandelion seeds on the wind. like dandelion seeds on the wind. Colorful planets came out from the mist and began a circle dance, pulling and spinning and laughing with sparkling eyes. Colorful planets, all these colorful planets came out from the mist and began a circle dance. They danced in a circle, pulling and spinning and laughing with sparkling eyes, and spinning and twirling and laughing with sparkling eyes, and dancing and pulling and laughing and spinning with sparkling eyes. Out of the mist came these colorful planets. Oh my. If you looked very closely at the planets, you would see that the dance was making amazing things happen. Now, if you look very closely at the planets, you would see that the dance was making amazing things happen. Mountains stood up to meet the sky. Big mountains like the Rocky Mountains stood up to meet the sky, and glittering rivers ran to play in the ocean, and glittering rivers ran to play in the ocean, much like the Deschutes River up at John Day, and the Siuslaw, and the Umpqua, and the Rogue, all these glittering rivers running to meet the ocean on this new planet. And deep in the ocean, beautiful creatures were born, and they began to play in the warm water. Deep in the ocean, beautiful creatures were born and began to play in the warm water. They became alive. How, you ask? This is another great mystery, because we have zebrafish, and we have angelfish, and we have jellyfish, and we have goldfish, and starfish, and corals, and reefs. And that's deep in the ocean. These beautiful creatures were born and began to play in the warm water. All these different schools of fish, they became alive. How, you ask? That is another great mystery. It's part of the great mystery. And let us just let the mystery be. Let's let the mystery be. That's us. The creatures danced and danced, always changing their costumes, their names, and their places. The creatures, they just danced and twirled and sang and laughed and spinning, always changing their costumes, their names, and their places. They have been dancing so long now that no one remembers how they looked at the beginning. They've been dancing so long now that no one remembers how they looked at the beginning. And no one can even count all the different kinds. The stars and the horses and the fish in the sea and the trees and the green and the water and the blue sky. And no one can even count all the different kinds of animals and creatures. Together, we have an exciting story to tell, but first, you are one of these beautiful creatures, dear friend. You, dear friend, are one of these beautiful creatures, along with the great oak trees, the fragile butterflies, the singing whales, and the stately mushrooms. They're all part of our family. They are all part of our family. You are one of these beautiful creatures, along with the great oak trees and the fragile butterflies and the singing whales and the stately mushrooms. They're all part of our family. That is part of our biodiversity. Together, we have an exciting story to tell, and you get to tell one of the best parts. Together, we have an exciting story to tell, and you get to tell one of the best parts. Your part is magical and scary and happy and sad and wonderful, and you are the only one who can do it. Isn't that amazing, dear friend? You are the only one who can do it. Not someone else. You are the only one who can do it. And together we have an exciting story to tell. And you get to tell one of the best parts. Your part is magical and scary and happy and sad and wonderful. And you are the only one who can do it. Sometimes you will make the story happen. Like sometimes you will make the story happen. And sometimes, dear friend, it will happen on its own. And sometimes it will happen on its own. There are terrible monsters, noble princes, noble princesses, joyful dancing, high mountains to climb, special presents to open, horrible storms, and warm misty mornings when the sun peeks out over red and yellow trees. And it's all part of the mystery of the green dragon that is the universe, part of the green fire. Sometimes you will make the story happen, and sometimes it will happen on its own. There are terrible monsters, noble princes and princesses, joyful dancing, high mountains to climb, special presents to open, horrible storms, and warm misty mornings when the sun peeks out over red and yellow trees. And the rustling in the leaves is a summer hammock that is kindly bent to ease us into dream time. This is not a story we tell with words. This story is told with your whole life. And no one knows how it ends. No one knows how it started. No one knows the whole middle. And no one knows how it will end. Again, dear friend, whisper and listen to this whisper. This is not a story we tell with words. This story is told with your whole life. And no one knows how it will end. And no one knows how it ends. And no one knows how it started. And no one knows the whole middle. And no one knows how it will end. This is a story that we tell without words. And this, my dear friend, even now, we're all together in a great oneness. Even now, we're all together in a great oneness. We're all part of one big thing, one magical child universe. And you are a very special part of it. And you, dear friend, are a very special part of us. In Lakesh, Alakan. I am another yourself. You are another myself. Alakan, in Lakesh. I am another yourself. You are another myself. Even now, we're all together in a great oneness. We're all part of one big thing, one magical universe. And you are a very special part of us. And it's all the colors that we can play with in the rainbow. Tonight, dear friend, oh magical child, tonight when you dream, you may remember that time in the beginning. Tonight when you dream, you may remember that time in the beginning when we all lived and dreamed together as one single thing. Tonight, when you dream, you may remember that time in the beginning when we all lived and dreamed together as one single thing. And the one single thing is the beginning of the dream. And in the beginning of the dream, and if you try, dear friend, you may feel the ocean still singing in your blood, the breeze still flowing in your hair, The mountains still dancing in your bones, and the stars still whispering, whispering, whispering in your heart. So, and if you try, you really try, and you don't try at all, you may feel the ocean still singing in your blood, in your plasma, in the tidal flats within, the ebb and tide of your very soul, singing in your blood, salt water, the breeze still flowing in your hair, the mountains still dancing in your bones. The mountains are dancing in your bones, dear friend, and the stars still whispering in your heart. Yes, and the stars still whispering in your heart. And that, dear friend, is, before the beginning, a child's first look at the great story of the great mystery. And the story of the heart of the great mystery, as we always say, let the mystery be. The great mystery is the great medicine. And if you would like to know more about this story, go to 7 Candles, www.7candles.org. That's www.7candles.org for science for a deeper spirituality. That's science for a deeper spirituality. And in the spirit of that which kindles our heart, in the beginning of things, in the beginning, before the beginning, and this was written just today, just for you, dear friend. It's called, What's Kindling Your Heart? What's kindling your fire right now? Well, there is an expressive expansion when we invite the Muse. When we go to a place and let the Muse unfold into us, we go to a place and we let the Muse unfold into us. So we break rank with our ordinary daily routine. You could call it, but we won't, but your daily routine, we break rank and we become ruckus. And we invite the Muse when we go to a place and we just let the Muse unfold into us. What have you got to lose? What have you got to lose? What have you got to lose? Do-do, do-do, do-do. What have you got to lose? What have you got to lose? What have you got to lose? You leave nowhere street, dear friend. And that's your everyday, daily walk, daily bread, daily world, daily day, digging in the dirt, daily day, doldrums, boredom, who knows, malaise, inertia, but lay that aside. What have you got to lose? You leave nowhere street and you go down a secret passageway. So let's leave nowhere street and we go down a secret passageway, down a back byway of Oz, down a back byway of Oz. Oh, by the way, a byway, a back byway of Oz. Because it's right under your feet. Because it's right under your feet. When your soul doth greet the secreted away inner part of you, when your soul doth greet, and when you doth greet, but when your soul doth greet the secreted away inner part of you, this is the getaway surprise that's inside the sunrise. Dear friend, you got it. You get the motion. You got the key. You got the rhythm. You got the action. This, when your soul doth greet the secreted getaway, the inner part of you, that's the inner part of you, this is the getaway surprise that's inside the sunrise, waiting for the amygdala to be clicked and set the controls for the heart of the sun each day. That's pretty intricate Tritipaka. The implicate explicate order of the intricate Tritipaka. A secret passageway down a back byway of Oz, because it's right under your feet when your soul doth greet the secreted away inner part of you. This is the getaway surprise that's inside the sunrise, waiting for the amygdala to be clicked and set the controls for the heart of the sun. This is why we set a little wiggle room. This is why we set a little wiggle room in our inner room. So the wee little person can come out and play. This is why we set a little wiggle room in our inner room, so little that we can come out and play, to live inside the madrigal realm of the magical child. To live inside the madrigal realm of the magical child. We are living in some Malaisical times. We are living in some Malaisical times when a sieve has become a torrent out of Washington, D.C., and the ovoid office of the Oval Eggman, which is flooding the whole land down to the tide flats. Yeah. And this is why we set a little wiggle room in our inner room, so little we can come out and play. To live inside the magical realm of the magical child. We are living in some Malaisical times where a sieve has become a torrent out of the beltway of D.C., which is flooding the whole land down to the tide flats. But we're interested in life tide. We are interested in life tide, where neuropeptides pull us up, dear friend, where neuropeptides pull us up into sheer wonder, and endorphins splash the dolphins into a spinning double dream of spring. Water the plants, play in the mystery of desire. Right here, right now, dear friend, water the plants. This is why we set a little wiggle room in our inner room, so little that we can wiggle and no one can see and find us. And we can come out and play, to live inside the madrigal realm of the magical child. We are living in some Malaisical times where a sieve has become a torrent out of D.C., which is flooding the whole land down to the tide flats. But we're interested in life tide, where neuropeptides pull us up into sheer wonder and endorphins splash the dolphins into a spinning double dream of spring. Water the plants, play in the mystery of desire, right here, right now, dear friend. What is kindling your desire? Let it light your fire, just like it did the first time when we gathered round the cave millions of stars ago, and for the first time knew we were soul. And for the first time we knew we were soul. This is a great spirit gift, dear friend. Let's go through this again. What's kindling your fire right now, dear friend? Well, there is an expressive expansion when we invite the muse, when we go to a place and let the muse unfold into us. We let the muse unfold into us. We let the muse unfold into us. In Lakash, I am another yourself. Alakan, you are another myself. And we let the muse unfold into us. What have you got to lose? You leave Nowhere Street and you go down a secret passageway, down a back byway of Oz, because it's right under our feet. When your soul doth greet the secreted away inner part of you, this is the getaway surprise that's inside the sunrise, waiting for the amygdala to be clicked and set the controls for the heart of the sun each day. That is what is kindling our fire. This is why we set a little wiggle room in our inner room, so little we can wiggle right into another room and we can come out and play as the green fire dragon of the universe. To live inside the magical realm of magical child, we are living in some Malaisical times where Civ has become a torrent out of DC, which is flooding the whole land down to the tide flats. But we're interested in life tide, where neuropeptides pull us up into sheer wonder and pure beauty. And endorphins splash the dolphins into a spinning double dream of spring. Water the plants. Play in the mystery of desire right here, right now, dear friend. What is kindling your desire? Let it light your fire, just like it did the first time when we gathered round the cave millions of stars ago. The first time, and for the first time, knew we were soul. Aho. And that is what is kindling our fire right now, and that's dedicated to everyone. That is dedicated to everyone. Well, it's Interdependence Day, this 4th of July, harmonic convergence at midday, at noon, at high noon, at high summer solstice noon, at high going to the sun trail noon. This is enough syzygy and synergy for hextillions of stars, and plenty that want to come. This ain't for no lack of trying, because everyone's made the trek, even from Utrecht. Music up here is synesthesia to the ears. You can hear in colors. The hearts are open wide up here at Malheur, west of the Great Divide, a mile high. This is pure spirituality up here, without mentioning it once. It comes from the heart. It comes from the heart, not man apart, open wide and receptive. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the numinous love light of the One, dear one. This is a welcome home ceremony, a welcoming Om ceremony at noon on the 4th of July, up here at altitude where we have gratitude. Dear friend, may the pure light within shine love all around you. Up here at altitude, a mile high, the rainbow hoops of all the nations are here, singing Om Nam Yoho Renge Kyo, Om Namaha Shivaya, Pachamama in Lakesh Alakan. At early morning sunrise ceremony, we smudge and sing Shundahai on the road to Shambhala. At Wind's Cave in Pahasapa, we hang no yuck here in this nested reality of dream time, singing we're all children of God, yes we are. I am God created me in the light and the love and the glory. I am, God created me in the light and the love and the glory. I am, God created me in the light and the love and the glory. Singing, we're all children of God, yes we are. We're all children of God, yes we are. We're all children of God, yes we are. In the love, in the glory. Here there are no dead presidents, no dollars nor cents. Only planetary love light singing planetary interdependence. And these are waterfalls from the invisible. We come upon a dream in mid-jet stream. It's a fountain of consciousness welling up from the aquifers deep below. The Ione of this time, we are beyond the temple gate of Tempus Fugit. We're going back to the Templars and reclaiming the dispersed energy of their Nawal and Tonal here at the assemblage point. And we were reclaiming dispersed energy and doing soul retrieval of the Knights Templar. And we are beyond the temple gate of Tempus Fugit, way beyond the time-space continuum. Here time flies doesn't hold a thought form, nor do flies fill up July mind. Our inner atmosphere is clear. No thing lives here. The Noah thing from a previous dispensation doesn't inhere nor cohere. Yet the covenant exists in here, in the arc of the rainbow, and the bridge across forever, where nowhere man can stand and find his footing, and fireflies in their biosexual midsummer night's dream, flight of delight, brilliantly light up. And the fireflies of the midsummer night's dream brilliantly light up his mind in an illumined presence of the One, singing, we are one with the infinite sun, and Iadolas float with consorts in etheric overcurrent gondolas in Venice and on the temples of Venus. And this goes all along here, dancing, dazzling, ecstatic mind fire, in telluric dervishes of midair, crossing unknown cratons to get here. This fluff and puff of none such stuff, perpetuating, extending, lavishing in our rainbow gathering of our summer dream. This spinning mandala wheel is not audible. This, dear friend, is waterfalls from the invisible. These are waterfalls from the invisible. And with these waterfalls from the invisible, we come across a bridge across forever, where nowhere man can stand and find his footing, and fireflies in the midsummer night flight of delight brilliantly light up his mind, brilliantly light up his mind, singing, we are one with the infinite sun, forever and ever and ever. We are one with the infinite sun, yes we are. We are one with the infinite sun, yes we are. We are one with the infinite sun, yes we are. Peace, dear friends, in this high summer mount of July. Peace to you and yours. And may it live in your heart. Peace.